First, though, to our guest today. You'll remember that being front and centre of the investigation into missing Nicola Bulley after he interviewed her partner, Paul Ansell. This was for a special programme earlier this year. Well, that interview has led Dan Walker to host a brand new series looking into Britain's missing people, in the hope that he can help bring answers to their loved ones. Here to tell us more, please welcome Dan Walker.
Are you all okay?
Sorry. Oh, my word.
It's quite an emotional programme, isn't it?
Walked into a sob fest. Do you have pets?
I do. We've got a little dog called Winnie, and she's a big Loose Women fan, so she's probably watching.
Hello, Winnie.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a poorly leg at the minute, so she's been in the vets today trying to get that sorted out.
But she's okay.
She's okay, but they are such an important part of family life. I remember our dog growing up, who was a gorgeous golden Labrador called Honey. She died right in the middle of my GCSEs.
Oh, gosh.
What you were saying, Frankie, though, it's that introduction to grief, isn't it? Yeah. And you've got to learn to live without that gorgeous thing in your life, haven't you?
And I bet your children love the dog.
Oh, she's more important than me. Yeah.
Well, talking of you, how are you after that? Because we saw those dreadful pictures of you after that terrible cycling accident. Just to say, might show some. Yes, just in case you're a bit squeamish. Looks awful, but you have to say you look good. Either you've got very good makeup on, or you're healing.
Your makeup artist is excellent. No, I still can't feel a part of my lip, and I've got a bit of a lump on my hip, and I might have to have this tooth out because they're slightly concerned that I might have lost blood supply. But I'm OK. I'm really thankful that I haven't broken any bones. I'm still here, and
I'm back on a bike.
I went back on the bike about 10 days ago. Yeah.
So what was that first?
The first roundabout, because my accident was on a roundabout. The first roundabout I got to, I had a bit of a, come on, stay focused. But the way I look at it is I've got to get back out there. I've got to do it again because I cycle a lot and I drive a lot, and I think driving makes me a better cyclist, and I think cycling makes me a better driver. And we all make mistakes, don't we, on the road sometimes? So I'm just...
Well, we're glad you're OK.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, you're here to talk about this new series. It's the Channel 5 series, Vanished, The Hunt for Britain's Missing People. Now, this came off the back of the special you did, Vanished, Where is Nicola Bulley, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think that was a programme where, everybody remembers that case, don't you? And there was such a media focus on that, and so many people interested in what happened to this poor woman. And I think... in doing that programme and in speaking to Paul, what really hit us, all the people who put that programme together, was the number of people who got in contact and said, what about my sister? What about my dad? What about my cousin, our uncle, our loved one who's also gone missing?
I mean, thousands.
When you look into it, you've been on air since 12:30, right? So every 90 seconds, somebody goes missing in the UK. So that's over 20 people since you've been on air today. Wow. And I think the Nicola Bulley case got that really tight and important focus for the family. But I've stayed in contact with the family, and they're really happy that we're doing this programme now because they don't want anybody to go through the tragedy that they've been through. And we're just trying to shine a light on some of these thousands of cases of... imagine it in your own family, somebody that you love who, for whatever reason, has just disappeared, and you are desperate to find out answers to where they are. Are they OK? And... the fact that there's no programme like that on TV,
it's going to be a live show. You'll have a phone team so people can call. The only thing is, you said about, Nicola's case brought so much attention. Some of it was the wrong attention. There were a lot of armchair detectives, sometimes interrupting the police investigation, people putting things on TikTok, all their theories. Is there a concern now that so many people are very interested in crime dramas are such a popular genre now, that people get too involved, perhaps?
I'm really glad you said that, because that was a concern that I had as well. And I think we're trying to do it really responsibly. And we're talking to the police. We've got every single programme. We'll have Palm Sandu, who's a former chief superintendent from the Met Police. We also have a representative from a really important charity called Missing People on every single programme. As you said, it's like a live incident room studio, essentially, where there'll be people manning the phones too. And we are just looking for facts for those families and for those loved ones who just want to know. Because when you speak to these people who are missing a loved one, all of them say the same thing. We just want to know if they're OK. And also... and you can imagine this is the case. Somebody somewhere knows something. And hopefully by putting those cases, by putting those faces on the TV, somebody, maybe even, somebody in the audience here might say, I was on that bus with that guy, or I saw them in that restaurant, or maybe that's the person I saw crossing the road on that occasion. And that might give some answers to some people who are just desperate for those answers.
Well, I'm really interested in the subject because quite a few years ago I developed a series for the BBC on exactly the same subject. But during the course of my research, I discovered that not everybody who you will find wants anyone to know. So how are you going to deal with that? Because there are people who leave home with either they come from backgrounds which are horrible.
Yeah, or abusive homes,
abusive, horrible, violent. There could be sexual intimidation. Or they might have just decided they want another life somewhere else. And we know that even in unsolved murder cases like Claudia Lawrence, the girl, the chef that was missing in Yorkshire.
We'll feature a historic case as well, so Claudia Lawrence.
Yeah, well, Claudia Lawrence is an amazing case because they've interviewed all the men she knew, they've interviewed every possible suspect, and then you come to the conclusion you've got no body, no clues, nowhere, and millions of pounds have been spent. There is this other theory that she might be alive and just not want to be found.
Do you know, when I went to go and see the charity Missing People, that's actually the first question I asked. What about that right to go missing? Because, you know, you can imagine as well, from a charity point of view, sometimes they will be dealing with the person who has gone missing and has contacted them confidentially, but also the family who are looking for that missing person. And they've got a real duty of care then, because we all have the right to go missing. We have the right to go off the radar, to, you know, go dark, if you like. And I think that is an element of the whole sort of missing people debate, which we will be touching on.
But if that's the case, then you could potentially go back and say, look, they have been found and they're fine, but they just don't want to...
And that's often what the charity will do. They'll go back and they'll say, your family member is fine, but they don't want to be found, they don't want to be found.
But at least they know.
Yeah.
At least they know. And I think that's probably the thing that was rattling around your head when you were thinking about it.
I mean, I think that this isn't anything new, this idea of finding missing people, because what triggered me was the fact that at the time I was researching the programme, the #1 factual programme in Italy at the time was a programme called Missing, and it was on Saturday night. And in that programme, they used technology to age what the people might look like. So obviously now we have technology's really moved on. So you can actually computer generate what the people might look like.
I think the vast majority of people are found within 48 hours.
Yes.
But we've on our first show this Thursday at 9 o'clock, we're dealing with a guy called Finn Creaney. Now, it's a year since he went missing, and his partner Lucy's on the programme, and she talks about the fact that they've got a 10-month-old son who has never met their dad.
You can't even imagine it.
How do you have that conversation?
They walk out the door one day and don't come back. And nobody... I mean, that's the interesting how some cases capture the public imagination, the police, the press, the media, and others don't.
Yeah.
It must seem very unfair to the people out there watching right now who have a missing loved one, say, well, nobody's running around looking for them, there's nothing on the television, nothing in the news. Which
is why, when we've gone to go and speak to some of the people who are looking for their missing friends or their missing family or their missing loved ones, the relief on their face when you start talking to them, because, you can imagine the police are under so much pressure, aren't they? And after 6 months, they have to move on to other cases. And all we're trying to do is say, the Nicola Bulley case showed us that this is a huge problem in the UK, and thousands of people and thousands of families are missing people and don't know where they are and are desperate for answers. And what we're trying to do is almost like a duty of care to say, we did that programme, it was really popular because there was so much attention on that case, but now we feel that we've got to move on and take this to a new series to look for
like you said,
people.
if you can help one person find a missing loved one, you'll be doing a great job. Vanished, the hunt for Britain's missing people, launches this Thursday at 9 o'clock, as Dan said, on Channel 5, and it's a series of 6 shows.
I think it's 4.
Oh, 4, is it? OK.
Hopefully
I'm
6.
sure there'll be
might be more, yeah.
But thank you very much. Nice to see you, Dan.
Thank
We're
you.
glad
Lovely to see you all. Thank you.